Picture this. It's the summer of 1922. The parties are wild. They literally never stop. Morals, kind of loose. And the stock market, it's just going up, up, up. This, my friends, was the Jazz Age. And right in the middle of all this glitter and glam is one of the greatest American novels ever written, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. So today we're going to dive deep into this world of unbelievable wealth and, well, some pretty big secrets, all through the eyes of one guy who's just watching it all unfold.
So the whole book kicks off with this piece of advice, right? From a father to a son. And that son, well, he's our guide. He's our narrator, Nick Carraway. And this one little idea, hey, maybe hold back on judging people. It's everything. It's the lens through which we see this whole crazy world. It makes him the absolute perfect fly on the wall for the incredible story of the main character. I mean, just think about it. How different would this whole thing be if anyone else was telling it?
All right, so let's meet our guide to this roar. Let's meet Nick Carraway. So who is this guy? Well, Nick's a young fellow, comes from a good, solid family out in the Midwest. He's got a Yale degree, he's seen the Great War, and honestly, he's a little restless, just like a lot of people back then. So he packs his bags, heads east to New York City, and decides he's going to get into the bond business. He's looking for a fresh start, you know? That feeling that, as he says, life was beginning over again with the summer.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. This is where the central puzzle of the whole story gets laid out. See, Nick tells us that he came away from this whole experience just disgusted, sick of all the crazy excess. He wanted the world to snap to, at a sort of moral attention forever. But there's one exception, one guy who gets a pass. Gatsby. And that's the thing, right? Gatsby is everything Nick claims to hate, but he also has this unbelievable, almost magical gift for hope. It's a total contradiction, and it's the question that drives the entire book.
Okay, next up, East Egg versus West Egg, a tale of two coasts. Look, to really get this story, you have to understand the geography. It's super important. So Nick rents this tiny little bungalow, kind of squeezed in between mansions, on a piece of land called West Egg. And right across the water, you can see its twin, East Egg. They look pretty similar from far away, but trust me, they are worlds apart. There's this massive social gap between them that pretty much defines everything that happens.
So let's break it down. East Egg, that's old money. We're talking families that have had wealth forever. It's established, it's aristocratic, it's quiet power. They don't have to show off. Now West Egg, that's where Nick and Gatsby live. That's the total opposite. This is new money. It's loud, it's flashy, it's practically screaming, "Look at me." Think of it like this. East Egg is a classy, historic palace. West Egg is a brand new, over-the-top theme park. And you can bet the people in the palace are looking down their noses at the theme park next door.
And our first stop is East Egg, where we meet Nick's cousin, Daisy, and her husband, Tom Buchanan. Daisy, she's just magnetic. Her voice is described as having this singing compulsion. It just pulls you right in. Tom? Well, Tom is a different story. He's a big, powerful guy, a former football hero, and his money has made him incredibly arrogant and just cruel. These two are basically the king and queen of East Egg society.
But yeah, underneath that picture-perfect surface, things are pretty rotten, and we see it in this one absolutely shocking moment. Daisy's talking about her own daughter, and she says this, that she hopes her daughter will be a beautiful little fool. I mean, wow, what a thing to say. It just rips the mask off and shows you how deeply unhappy and empty she feels. Basically, she thinks it's better to be clueless and pretty because knowing the truth about her life, about her marriage, it's just too much to handle.
And we find out why she's so unhappy almost immediately. They're all at this fancy dinner, and the phone rings. It's Tom's mistress calling from the city. And here's the kicker. Everyone at the table knows who it is. The tension is just, you could cut it with a knife. But does anyone say anything? Nope. They just politely ignore it. And that right there, that is the world of East Egg. It's all built on pretty lies to cover up some really ugly truths.
All right, so now, the Valley of Ashes. This is the hidden cost of the dream. So you have all this glitter, all this wealth, but what's the price? Who pays for it? Well, to find out, we have to leave the fancy mansions behind. Because smack in between the rich suburbs of East and West Egg and the big dream of New York City, there's this other place. A place Fitzgerald calls the Valley of Ashes. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a grim, gray, industrial wasteland.
I mean, just listen to how Fitzgerald describes it. It's haunting. He calls it a fantastic farm where ashes grow like wheat. This place isn't just a location on a map. It's a giant, glaring symbol.
It's the byproduct, the decay, the garbage left behind by the careless rich, by people like Tom Buchanan. This is the place where the people who get left behind live, literally covered in the dust of the system that makes the Buchanans so wealthy.
And looking down on this whole grim scene are these eyes. They're on a giant faded billboard for an eye doctor, a Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. But they feel like so much more than that. These huge, blue, bespectacled eyes just brood over everything. It's like they're the eyes of God, just watching all the dirty deeds and sadness down below, in a world that's pretty sure nobody is watching at all.
Okay, let's shake off that gray dust and dive headfirst back into the color and chaos of West Egg. Let's talk about Gatsby's legendary parties, the myth-making machine. Right next door to Nick's little house is this enormous mansion. This is Gatsby's place. And every single weekend, it just explodes into this incredible spectacle of music, lights, and flowing champagne.
I mean, the sheer scale of these parties is just mind-boggling. We're not talking about a DJ and some chips. We're talking a full orchestra. We're talking crates and crates of fresh oranges and lemons delivered every week, just for drinks. A bar overflowing with illegal gin and fancy liquors. And people, hundreds of them. And the craziest part? Most of them don't even know Gatsby. They just show up, as the book says, like moths to a flame, drawn in by the pure spectacle of it all.
So the party's raging, right? But the million-dollar question on everyone's lips is, where's Gatsby? The host is an absolute ghost, and his absence just fuels the fire. People start talking, whispering, making stuff up. I bet he killed a man, says one person. No, I heard he was a German spy, says another. Someone else is sure he's related to German royalty. It's just wild speculation, and it all adds to this incredible myth he's building around himself. Nobody knows the real story, which of course just makes him even more of a legend.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Meeting the man himself, the big reveal. So Nick is wandering around one of these parties. He's actually one of the only people who got a real invitation, and he's feeling like a total fish out of water. He's trying to find Gatsby, but has no idea what he looks like. He ends up just chatting with some random guy, a guy who seems pretty friendly, and they connect for a second over the fact that they both fought in the war.
And then it happens. The guy he's been talking to just casually turns to him, smiles, and says, "I'm Gatsby." And that's it. After all the crazy rumors, all the myths, the big introduction is just totally normal. No fanfare, no drama. The legendary, mysterious Gatsby was right there, hiding in plain sight the entire time. It's such a great reveal.
The first thing Nick notices, the thing that really gets him, is Gatsby's smile. And it's not just any smile. Nick describes it as this incredibly rare thing that it makes you feel seen. It makes you feel understood. It's a smile that seems to believe in the best possible version of you. It's pure charisma. And you immediately get why people are so fascinated by this guy.
But then, just as fast as it appears, that smile is gone. And Nick is left with, well, a bunch of questions. The pieces don't quite fit. Gatsby's speech is super formal, but then he calls everyone old sport, which is a little weird. He says he went to Oxford, but it sounds a little rehearsed. It all just adds to the mystery. You're left wondering, who is the real Jay Gatsby behind this whole performance?
And we're going to close on this one. Final, haunting image. The parties are over, everyone's gone home, and Nick sees Gatsby standing all alone on his lawn in the dark. But he isn't looking up at the sky. He's stretching his arms out across the bay towards a tiny, single green light way off in the distance. And that light, what is it? What does it mean? That becomes the central question of the entire book. It's the symbol of this huge, mysterious, and maybe even impossible dream. That is, Jay Gatsby.